Yeah.
How is this new system working for Steve? Better?
Like, well, I don't have to call me.
Yeah, okay.
You're all set and recording. Okay, and then just keep our eyes open. Like briefly, yeah, I mean, you said she might be there. Like, oh, I left that up there so we can see if she joined. Okay, that's great.
Is the video of the room on them?
It's not working. I can't remember that. Maybe. I don't know what's happening with the camera. Is it on up there? It's showing something, but it looks like it's showing lights up there, so. I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna leave our video off for now, so just figure that out. Okay. Well, start then. I would take a motion to open the January 7th, 2026 meeting of the SBC.
So moved.
And second. Second. All right. Someone want to start?
John Messina, yes.
Michelle Kirkby, yes.
Leo Brem, yes.
Bob Meany, yes.
Peter Michelson, yes.
The Warner, yes.
Carolyn Casey, yes.
Meredith Chamberlain, yes.
Great. This is the, oh, sorry. Tony
Rebecca Tony, yes.
and Robert.
Robert Worth, yes.
Thank you. Thank you guys for zooming in. Okay, the agenda for tonight, for those who are at home, is we're going to approve some meeting minutes for December. We're going to talk about the NSBA document where you hire your OPM. And we're going to discuss putting together a subcommittee and a timeline for hiring an OPM. And then I have down here potential warrant articles, and we won't need to do this, so we're not get there. I'll explain why. We'll move on. Park and Rec update, communication subcommittee update, future agenda topics, and then public participation. So on the meeting minutes that I sent you, I've already made 2 changes. Just want to let you know. One is, Eileen, you mentioned you were going to a meeting in the December meeting with Rebecca Crouch. We had wrote the thing the first time, they put Denise's name in there. Carolyn.
I lost the end of that.
That when AI did the first run of the minutes, I didn't catch it, they put Denise Garrett's name in there.
Oh, no, so yeah, so Becca Roush had a fundraiser, I think the night after our last meeting.
Right, and you were going, so I've already changed that, so if
Okay.
you look at it now, that one I caught, but I caught it after I sent it to all of you. And then the second thing I changed in the minutes, when Robert Worth was talking about how schools were used all year in the summer, it seemed confusing that he might have been talking about Medfield. So I just added in the phrase that he's the principal of the borough school in Foxborough. So it made sense he was talking about a school that he's the principal of. So just, I was hoping it was clear. So besides those 2 changes, was there anything else that anybody saw on the minutes that you think you fixed? All right, well then I will take a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob. And a second? Second. Thank you. No, all right. So there you go.
John Messina,
Yes.
Peter Michelson, yes.
The Warner, yes.
Carolyn Casey, yes.
Meredith Chamberlain, yes.
Tony?
Rebecca Tony, yes. Robert Worth, yes.
All right. So next is our big item for tonight, and it's about completing step 2, where we hire an OPM. And there's a document that we sent in the packet, a very long document, that the MSBA told us to use. And there are places in it that we have to put in the town of Medfield. And then there are some places where we have to write pieces for the document. And Bill and Michael took took a stab at it, putting a draft, and what we wanted was for you guys to read it and get his thoughts about how it was written, any changes, editing, thoughts, questions.
I just had a real, quite small one on page 4. First of all, by the way, Bill, was it right off on Jessica?
Yes.
Thank you, both of you guys. I'm trying to remember, Steve, when I took a tour of Dale, told me that the modulars were put in, they had an expected life of 15 years, is that right?
I'm not sure. I just know they were put in around 2000.
2000.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
I
had
wasn't
that.
sure of the expectation. That was before I was there.
It's typically 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
15's on the long end.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I was just wondering, I mean, the statement's good as it is, but I had that memory of being told that the expected life was 15 years and we're already 10 years past that. Might be an added piece of information. to
Where it
add.
talks about it.
It's on page 4,
Okay.
and it's
Yeah.
first sentence of the third paragraph. Justin School is comprised of structures from 1942-62 and a minor renovation, blah, 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 1997, and the installation of 2 modular classes in 2000. I was thinking of just throwing in the paren, it should be noted that the expected life of these modular units was 15 years, approximately 15 years, and they are still being used today, or something like that.
Or you could also do it on page 5, the first sentence, add it there.
Okay, yeah, also fine.
That's true, that whole little paragraph
It's
is
about the
about
module.
them. So we can just do an ending sentence.
Yeah. It's a PDF, so I can.
I think it's, yeah, I don't want to.
You want it on the last sentence of the paragraph,
Yeah,
or right after the modular classroom?
Well, the whole paragraph is about the modular, so what if we just, the last sentence says these modules were intended for 10 to 15 years, and
Sure.
now they're 25.
Sure.
And also, this is a question. The evaluation criteria. MSBA sets, and that's what we have to apply. To evaluate.
We want, our study needs to improve the new building, but also an addition renovation. And I felt like we should be highlighting that we want someone experienced with both, right? We want someone to come who's done both, so that we get, a good study about which way we want to go here. I just want to make sure that part is highlighted. I think a lot of school builders like to do new, and I know it can be tough, especially with an old building from the 1940s. So it would be great if people who have that experience are, maybe responding to us so that we can get the best.
I thought Bill had put that in there somewhere. Let me just see if it's. I remember reading it.
Well,
But maybe you want in that section as part of the evaluation criteria?
yeah, I
Okay.
was thinking that,
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
that maybe, so be under there, so maybe number 12, just highlighting that we will be looking, for someone intelligence can help us. Addition renovation of an older.
So like
building.
knowledge and experience of addition, renovation of an older building,
Yeah,
something
but
like
you
that.
can put 1940s or say something about how old it is, and also a new facility.
Number 4 does say specifically either new or renovation of proposed project as well.
Yeah.
And that's part of the feasibility study frameworks anyway.
Right. And I know this document is, sent by lawyers, obviously.
So we took them objectives, renovation, addition versus construction content, and we had it. I think the one.
Okay. I mean, do you feel like it's enough? I just want to be real clear with the people who are looking at this.
It's going to be a band of usual suspects to
Yeah.
that, and that's also part of how they focus on that in their interview. Is one of the ways that we can discern if we want to work with them. Like, if they're going to put out, we understand that renovation that it could be a part of this process, and we've done renovations, and they should feel it there. Talk about that.
I think the one substantive thing that, to the extent anybody has any feedback, is that we went through and you have to award these points, and so when you get into the interview process, right, they're gonna, like, the MSBA is gonna have a grade according to the point structure that we set forth. In going through that, essentially what we did was, stuff that was, I'd say would be perfunctory, like the fact that a builder would know the building code. Those are the lower kind of 5-point criteria.
Yeah, and this is an OPM as well, so they should be familiar with it.
And then the more kind of, more about, ways of working, your, the criteria that would give you confidence that they get the project done, get done well. Those are kind of more, what we've had is like the 20 or kind of 15-point requirements. And so, thorough knowledge, demonstrated experience, life cycle cost analysis, cost estimating, 15 points back, that's going to be important to understand the costs. Key personnel, I view that as you're going to want to know that people you're working with, we spend a lot of time with them, we feel good with it. And so, I think we can flex the points up and down if anybody has, comments, feedback. I know, Leo, you've been through this before. If you think that we should even, put this thumb on the scales to weight anything further, I think we can.
I think I may have only adjusted by 5 points. One area, I honestly can't remember. I'm happy to share the folder of information because I put it all public on the Google Drive folder for everybody. All the respondents, all the documents they handed me, everything. I'm happy to share it with you all so you can go in and dig through it, including our scoring rubrics. So, but we only adjusted, I want to say one section of different points, and that was it. And I don't think it impacted much about how, what we did in that process, because one of the things that you'll find is you're going to see a lot of boilerplate type submissions. They're going to probably touch on certain things, and so if they're trying to remove as much subjectiveness from it, but it is subjective in the sense of whoever from this group is going to be evaluating them is going to be evaluating them with a novice eye almost, and so it is difficult. I will say that. But being able to read through and put a lot of weight on past performance, and a lot of that past performance weight is going to come through some of the because you have to call. Of your finalists, you have to call all of 3 references from all of them, even if they scored the lowest. So it's a lot of phone calls, or emails.
Even people that you aren't interested in.
Of your finalists. Of your finalists.
The finalists.
Yeah, of your finalists, you have to call the references. So if you get 4 finalists, you're calling 12.
Yeah.
5, we had 6. So I called 18 different people.
And is it one person who has to be calling to make it consistent?
Generally, the person who's the MCPPO person who's doing it. So whoever whether that is Michael, which Michael?
So I'm sort of have my,
Communication as well.
I see the 20
There's
points
those,
is past performance of the
So I think
response.
Given that,
And I guess I just, I haven't been in the position of trying to bid on legal work where I was new and everybody always wanted someone who'd done it 20 times before. It's hard to break down the door. I'm not saying you might have someone who's, built 15 banks and wants to get into the OPM business. Or so. I don't know, but I'm just saying it really seems heavily weighted against someone who doesn't have a bunch of experience building schools. They might have experience building something else, which might be quite valuable. So I just wondered if we wanted to reduce the 20 points down to, 12 or something and renumber accordingly. That's just what struck me. Leo's done this before. Sounds like Bob has done it before. They may feel strongly that, no, you want an OPM who's done it 8 million times.
In order to do an MSBA building, they're going to bid on this project. They're going to have done them in the past because of.
So no one new can get into the business?
Well, they can do non-MSBA projects and then go for it, then go after MSBA projects. So anyone can bid, right? But they still have to go through that approval process with MSBA themselves. But for an example, in Dayton there was an interest to do energy savings and cost savings, and that was a change in our points. We added points to number 8. So. And then there was a focus. I changed some wording around being more cost conscious because of the community's concern with costs. They're paying for Bristol Aggie and Bristol Plymouth down there as well. So there's some extra add-ons that they're paying for that's impacting the town. And so adding this is going to be a big problem. So communications is one area that Michelle brought up because maybe we want to add some points for people who have demonstrated good communication skills in difficult situations.
yeah, I was gonna say, I recognize that we have a communication subcommittee and that's been a very big topic with us from day one and talking even about allocating funds towards communication further down the road. But my understanding with the last project is that the OPM communication was a part of what they were supposed to be responsible for. So I think it would be interesting to understand the expertise of anybody that we're talking to, what their communication expertise is, just to have that for our own knowledge of when and where we would want to be able to rely on them.
We called it, and we framed it as community relations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to frame it.
Yeah, we call it community relations, and it's a big deal right now because we're in that education planning phase right now. Actually, I walked the site with Arrow Street this afternoon, actually. So.
Okay, Jeff, I'm looking. We didn't monkey with the words. We just assigned the points. Is that right? Because it wasn't really. I don't think that there's a whole lot of discretion.
No. Just
I
change the
think-
point values.
I
And
think
the point
that's-
values are very similar to what we did last time. We just changed a couple of the ones that you felt strongly about those. So
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of for communication, key personnel, I think you can. Whatever your concern is, you can kind of weight it to any raise as you get along the way.
Yeah, exactly. When you get into it, you're going to discern what you like. This point ranking is really just ranking them as the resumes show up.
Yeah.
All right. And they're fully aware that the network is alive and well. You're familiar with people and know them. What they should be doing is really displaying the team that they're going to send to you. And then those finalists that come, they've got to send the people you're going to be working with in the room because you're going to be meeting them. Steve's going to be spending a ton of time with those people.
that's one of the key questions during the interview process, and making sure that the team that's there is the one that you're going to.
So this is really just to get the ball rolling. I wouldn't lose sleep over point rankings on this. In the questions in the finalist rounds, that's when you can really start.
I think, Jeff, if we want to add to this section here, where the project objectives, I think maybe we can add something around there around communication, make sure that there's strong continuous communication to the town.
What page is that on, Bill?
It is middle 5.
Okay, middle 5.
Okay. Any other thoughts, comments on the point rankings?
Yeah, the only comment I have is, and I think it was touched on a little bit, is on number 8. I mean, I know when we go in for interviews on buildings, sustainability is one of the top key components. And I think that what I would recommend is increasing, it's minor, but I would increase that from 5 points to 10 points and decrease 9 to be equal. Because they're kind of the same in some respect. I think sustainability is real important for these municipal buildings.
And they'll notice that, right? And that'll communicate to these people that that's important to this community. That's really what you're doing.
Cool.
And I agree.
Right.
Okay.
8, 10 points, and 9, 10 points.
I should take 5 from 9,
Yeah.
put it into 8.
You got that, Jeff? Yep. Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other thoughts, feedback?
Swore there was a place where Medfield was missing a D, the word. But I didn't write the page down.
Goal for attention, strong attention to detail.
Is it missing the first B or the last first?
So, no, don't worry about it. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I had a question, Steve, of a community member. When we were writing this up, it talks about music spaces, and talks about how they're inadequate, and we've all seen them in the halls. Do you still use the auditorium, the stage for music, or is that like not used anymore, the actual stage area in the gym auditorium?
Yeah, no, we don't use the auditorium. We don't use the stage in the gymnasium. All the kids, all the chairs are put across the floor. There wouldn't be enough space on the stage because, for instance, our 4th grade this year, I think, is 123 kids for brass who's in there, so we wouldn't be able to have, that whole, the whole size of the people.
So they're on the gym floor.
Yeah, exactly.
So when he does the whole band or orchestra or whatever it is, they're all there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do we think of that then as the actual stage space is not functional because of the size? Or is it a scheduling issue?
No, it's not scheduling because there's no PE classes on Wednesday and Thursday afternoons when there is ensemble.
Okay.
So there's no, and the same thing goes through the orchestra or the string instruments are in the cafeteria.
Okay.
The string instruments are always usually a little bit less number-wise than the brass instruments. But no, it's just, you couldn't fit 100 and, we use it sometimes, for instance, if we're doing, last year, I can remember we did the Memorial Day program, and we have a great, obviously the band, the orchestra, and chorus are great, but we also have a chamber chorus and a chamber orchestra group, and they'll come sometimes, it won't be the full number of people, but they'll come and they'll play on the stage because it's a certain number.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I found the spelling error.
Oh yeah, me too.
So did you find it under background?
Background.
First paragraph.
It's Medfield, right?
Yeah, it says Medfield.
Yeah,
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
Medfield.
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fifth line down.
Yeah.
Last D. Is the first D.
Oh, the first day?
Oh. Come on.
So, because we learned after we sort of sent the whole agenda out that it's first come, first served to get on the April meeting to with MSBA to say that we've done our OPM and share all the data. And so we didn't want to, and not everyone's going to be who's in step 2 is going to get on that April meeting. So we didn't want to lose a spot. So we did send this document in the way it is, knowing that we were going to make changes and then send an updated draft. Just so you know, we just did that to hold the placeholder.
Whoever our regular is from MSBA, not Charlie, just hug them, like, just
But, yeah,
email them consistently.
She was on vacation this week, so that's why we didn't want to then, get stuck in her inbox while she was gone for the week, so that's why we got it in before she left.
Yeah, it's a good idea, because they take it and run it through their people.
Oh, yeah.
And then it comes back redlined or whatever.
Right.
So there is a red line version of this, but we didn't give it to you because it's obnoxious to read. But that's the one that we have to send to them, is the red line version. So it made more sense for you to take a look at a draft that doesn't have all the red lines and the strike throughs. It's tough.
You have to keep track changes on in.
Right, so we have to
in
submit that to them, the track changes.
So,
Yeah.
and since this
Well,
document has already been approved once, I think getting the ball rolling, I think is fast, and it's a really good idea.
just do it out loud.
So there was a public question from Chris Potts. She asked under the criteria 1 where we assign the points. We suggest that the app describe percentage of number of new versus renos in the portfolio. I think we'll get into that as we get the OPM get into the interview for sure. The language of what the assign the points, they don't want that monkey with. And so it says like assign points each one, but don't change the language in each one in their RFS template. So we'll probably leave it as is, but certainly Chris, we've layered in throughout the document that we're interested in both new versus ad reno, and that will obviously be a common theme throughout. So thank you for the feedback.
Okay. So, I don't see any other public, anything else that, we would like a vote that you're comfortable with the document, just to say that we've edited and drafted it, and that then the updated version would be sent. But is there anything else that anybody wants to?
I would just add that on page 4, we do have it highlighted with the number of members, number of voting members in the OPM selection subcommittee. We will update that after the meeting tonight. When we send this, that'll be all updated as well.
Okay.
All right.
Should we discuss that then before we vote?
You don't have to. You can I think that's on the agenda. Then when you
Yeah,
can,
it's
once you
next
decide, then I'll just write down what you decided, and then
Okay.
we'll be good. Yeah.
We would like to make a motion to accept the draft form of the template subject to adding in the committee members.
So moved.
Second. Okay, all those.
John Santa, yes.
Michelle Kirkby, yes.
Leo Brem, yes.
Bob Meany, yes.
Peter Michelson, yes.
The Warner, yes.
Carolyn Casey, yes.
Meredith Chamberlain, yes.
Nothing, Thomas, yes. Robert Worth, yes.
I see a
And
Teresa.
Teresa's here now.
She needs to be brought over, I think.
Yeah, she's in the participant.
She said I'm on, but don't interrupt the flow, but we need her now, so we have to.
You all have panelists, things, you can all pull her over.
Oh, sorry.
I can get up and do it. How you doing?
Here.
Lucy James and Prince, yes, in the chat.
She said yes in the chat. Thank you, Teresa. That is very helpful.
Questions?
Okay, great. All right, so the second step of this is putting a committee together, deciding how many. It will be a subcommittee, but it won't be on Zoom, because once you've got people in and we're interviewing and stuff, you wouldn't want that out for the other people. So the things that we want to decide is, how many, and we looked at the rough schedule that we got put together about timing. Is a big time commitment. So I'll take ideas. Yeah, Leo.
So I was gonna say, the way we had six, and we just did this. The initial scoring I did do remote by sharing all the submissions, and I did a very intricate scoring sheet that people couldn't see other people's scoring using a shared Google sheet. And just tell you how we did, because of obviously we had people from the town and everything else, they all had day jobs and other things. And then the interviews were all face to face, but we lined up all the interviews on one day.
Yeah.
And pounded it out, together on one day, and then did a in-person scoring sheet for those. And then those get collected and digitized for the transparency purposes.
Okay, so you used, people could Zoom in to their at work, which would be helpful for people's schedule, but it wasn't open to the public, the Zoom part.
So we didn't Zoom at all.
Okay.
We just did the scoring. I zoomed with the subcommittee individually to show them how to score. We did that part of like what the scoring was with those points.
Yep.
Everything else. But because there's so much to consume as part of that, you can't do that all in a meeting.
Yep.
So, but to score the actual submissions.
Okay.
Because you're going through the submissions to score them, and you're gonna get like we had a lot. So, and you really want to get it down to something manageable. And so what we did is we scored them though, then I calculated the scores, and then we kind of decided on a cutoff. So we did have a subcommittee for the cutoff. Whatever it was the top 4, because it was 4 that stood out from the rest of the crowd. Because we just had whatever it was 6. Like we wanted to make sure it was clear, and we didn't want to go over a certain number. So there was one that was right on the edge. That didn't get in, I think, by like 10 points or something like that. But it was very close. But you got to make sure everyone was clear on the scoring. And I'm going to go in and share that all over with you so you can see how we did it. But I'm not saying you have to do it that way, but in order to make it. And then the
submissions did you have to get down to 6?
I'm going to go get that number. I want to say it was at least 10. So.
Christine, so as a subcommittee, we need minutes. Is it just summary minutes, like one of us writes it, or are we going to do?
It's up to you. I mean, open meeting law, very clear on minutes, just needs to be a summary of the discussion and then the vote.
So, but I'm thinking for the subcommittee, one of those people should be in charge of the minutes, because we can't do the AI because we're not recording it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Other thoughts or ideas? Jeff, any thoughts about running this part here for us to think about?
No, I mean, I think we want to just think about how many people you want and whether it's too little, too much, right? So I like odd numbers. I think odd numbers are good in case we get into some conversation and can't come to an agreement, but I think 5 to 7 would be a good working group for sure.
What's been on the schedule?
Sure, let's take a look. I'm hoping that everyone got a chance to look at it and.
So this is the schedule was meant to be indicative, not 100% precise at this point in terms of what the commitment would be, but directionally. And Leah, I value your feedback as someone who's been through this in terms of like this looks relatively right, but we're going through this real quick. So
Can you copy your screen if you're sharing to the percentage so it's easy to read for people? Oh, there's no way to do it on that?
Manager, there's not a corporate track.
Oh, okay.
So January 7th today, we have a full meeting. This says goal to submit RFS tomorrow, so I presume update at this meeting and send the revised final draft back in tomorrow. The due dates for that meeting is 15th, so obviously we'll have met that. Assuming we get the green light to go for the April meeting, the RFS would go live no later than January 29th, at least no later than, or maybe actually on that date. So really,
what day of the week is that?
Is that
Thursday?
That's a Thursday. So you'll submit into the Central Register on the Wednesday prior, right?
Michael does that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as long as it's clean for Michael to go the week before. An extremely manual, archaic system that works for the state, and you gotta do by a certain time, and then you put it in there, and it's simple, but you have to do it by a certain time to make sure it goes by that date, so that it matches the date that you're posting.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it many times.
So it's all right.
So
I haven't, so that's why.
I trust it'll get done.
It's a Central Register plus one other publication, so I don't know if that's
You could be on OSD's website or newspaper, our website.
I don't know if Hometown Weekly counts or it's more like Golden
Sure.
Herald, but.
But generally the web is probably a good way. So either the Central Register and I think OSD you can put it on as well. Yeah, that's what they're going to look for it.
I'm sorry, what does OSD stand for?
Operational Services Division. It's another state website.
Okay.
So really, then we kind of get into it first week in February. So February becomes a busy month. At some point, the beginning of the following week after it gets posted, there'll be an information session / site walkthrough for anybody who's interested. And so that, I think Jeffrey said, subcommittee would be welcome, but not necessarily needed because, you and Mike and Steve would handle it. And then, so that would be kind of early the week of the first week of February. The 4th would be our normal meeting. There's a period where questions become due. So people will take a look at the RFS, they'll go through the walkthrough, they'll have some time with the team, they'll spend time in the building, they'll submit questions early in week 2 in February.
So we also record every question that's asked on that walkthrough, we record all of that. We have that in the document. You might have seen that the last time we showed that. Then we have all of these questions in the documentation too. So all this gets submitted to MSBA as part of the process.
It gets posted back out on the same to all the people who bid too.
Right.
So other people as they come in, the one thing is they're all interested in, they all are interested who else is bidding. And then they all get to say the questions. So if I ask, when was the last time this bathroom was remodeled? Like literally, someone's got to write that down and the answer is going to be sent to me and it gets written down and then that gets published to everybody. So they don't even have to be there to get the questions.
So somewhere between the back half of week 2 and week 3, there'll have to be a subcommittee meeting to review all the questions that come in. I presume that, just go ahead and throw and work on Jeff and Mike. I presume that you have to take probably the first crack at the draft and then the subcommittee will get through it.
It depends what the questions are. I don't know if you need a meeting of the subcommittee to answer those questions.
Okay.
I would probably just let Mike and Jeff answer and Steve answer the questions. They're going to be mostly questions like,
Building big questions.
yeah, like how many kids are going to be projected to be in there, or
and then so that takes us through kind of at this point. You're now past the end of school vacation week. We're in week 4 in February, and that's when there's going to be a little bit of a lift in that next week and a half to finalize the point allocations, finalize the short list, and then start the interview process. So that'll take us to the first week of March. We'll have our regular meeting, and then there'll be right after that there'll be a negotiation period with the preferred vendor at that point. And then on March 11th, the submission will go to the MSBA. Again, this is all predicated on the fact that they gave us the green light to get in front of the panel in the first week of April. And so, so I think for those people who are participating in the process, it's really, it's probably really that last week of February and that first week of March, where you may need a couple nights set over the course of those 2 weeks to participate. So we're looking for volunteers.
Well, I've got time. Retired, so, whatever. If it's help, it's help.
I'm with Bob. I'm retired, I can do it.
I'm happy to do it if somebody else wants. Happy to do it, maybe, but if someone wants to go through the experience, I'm totally fine too.
I retired from the beg out because I think that my committee's going to be sued this.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a little intense.
Yeah, so I apologize. I would otherwise, if we were not accepted for April and we were further down the road, I might go. I apologize.
I'm in a similar spot as Pete, as we're negotiating with the teachers, and my calendar has negotiations during this.
I would be interested, but those are the 2 weeks leading the basketball playoffs, so I'm gonna be in the gym every night.
So, John, Leo, Bob,
The,
me, you.
Not an addition. Love it. I know.
Teresa, was that came up here, baby? Or?
Wow, this is like one of my favorite parts is to see who's also interested in the project to collaborate, partner with us. I'll have to just participate remotely or in watching, so I don't think I can give it the full attention it needs. Sorry.
Robert or Tony?
Okay.
I'm interested in participating, but I have courses starting the last week of January, and I don't know yet what night of the week they're on, so I can't commit to any dates.
Yeah, there's no way I could do it. I'm just too busy right now.
So Michael and I definitely were on it, right? We had talked about that before. So what is that?
That's
That's
6. With you and Michael. So you're not.
It's not the odd number that you wanted.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, if it's,
He said 5 to 7, you'll make 7 if you want to do it.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if you want to, you would make.
You can be a tiebreaker if you need.
I'll be
But, I mean, you have a busy schedule, you travel.
Yeah, no, I think I have some work stuff I got to figure out in that period, but I will be there at the meetings, definitely. And I'll offer my input, whether I'm writing out the points or not, we can.
Yeah, it's a subcommittee, so everybody understand that, people can come.
That's right.
That's how we're doing it. Just want to be real clear with everybody on that one.
All right, so John, Bob, Leo, you're yes, no, maybe?
Like I said, I'm open to doing it. But if someone's really passionate about it, or if they want somebody, like if Steve wants to be on it, because Steve's got to work with them, that's fine too. But I'm fine being there too. 100%.
I'm passionate about.
I'm being told I should do it.
Yeah, you know what?
Does that work, Michelle?
Yeah. Leo, you just had you're so
Michelle just said I have to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
You haven't figured out how the school committee runs. I have to get there too.
Sorry,
Or Michelle, whichever.
Yeah, it just makes.
I meant, of course I'm doing it.
But Steve, I didn't think. I mean, were you considering? Did you want to be on it?
If Michael and Jeff are on it, I don't think
Okay.
I want to make sure that people here on the committee keep it to that small number, that odd number. But if need be, I'll be
I'm not worried about the odd number. I trust that, like, we'll be fine.
I just sent everyone on the committee to our scoring sheet and an Excel so you can see all the scores. And the link to the folder with all the responses and all the documentation. But
All that knowledge, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we assign John, Leo, Bob, Carolyn, Jeff, and Mike as the members of the OPM selection committee.
That was fast as
He was so fast with that.
Wow.
John Cheney, yes.
Michelle Kirkby, yes.
Bren, yes.
Bob Meany, yes.
Peter Michelson, yes.
Bill Warner, very grateful, yes.
Casey, yes.
Same as Bill. Comment, yes. Meredith Finland.
Remote
Mr.
people?
James, yes, and grateful. Thank you.
Tony Beth and Thomas, yes.
Barbara Worth, yes.
Okay, great. Appreciate it.
Oh, Michael.
All right. All right. So we have the document done. We voted on the committee. We got the people who have the plan, and we'll adjust the timeline as we get in and we're going through. But yeah, Lee, I really appreciate because that stuff you're doing with the document and stuff you could just throw in.
It was a lifesaver.
Medfield. Yeah.
It's a lifesaver being able to enable Google to do what we need to do.
Yeah, no, I think that is great. Okay, number 4, I put this down, potential warrant articles from SBC, because I got some information, after we met last time, about that maybe we would need to have a warrant article that asks for control of the FAST Center land, if we wanted to use it in the feasibility. I've since learned that we absolutely don't have to do that. So I put that there in case, because I didn't have the answer yet from the town lawyer about whether or not we would need it, and if so, we would have to put a placeholder in, because the next time we meet in February, the warrant articles will already be listed out. So that is why that is there.
Maybe dovetail this into the next agenda item, and because they kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe I'll start and you jump in.
Yep.
So we talked about the last meeting that we were going to try to get together, spend some time with the Park and Rec team. We did that. We had, I would say, a very productive meeting with them a couple days before the Christmas break. One of the, I don't want to say one of the outputs of that meeting, but it was great to hear kind of their vision, what their challenges are, where they're going. For those of you who haven't seen it, Lauren and Katie presented in front of the select board last night, kind of laid out their, what they view their path to be over the next kind of, both the near term, I would say, and the longer term vision, which is essentially where they want to get to is, they have some money now for a permanent structure that will likely be a prefabricated building that they want to build at Hinkley. And the way they want time to think about this is, they have a lot of operations that happen over there. The Hinkley General Campus is a permanent place where Park and Rec conducts many activities. And so they want a permanent structure there that they can use for summer programming as well as a base of operations for other activities that need to happen throughout the year. And so they're viewing that as not just a stopgap to get them until they get some sort of larger permanent community, center, staff replacement, whether that's a big building, small, whatever it winds up being. But they figure whatever happens with that, they still would like the Hinkley option as a permanent home. And so their plan is to put on the warrant for town meeting the remaining funds. Remember last year they had some costs allocated and approved at town meeting. The costs kind of ran away from them when they actually got to the bidding process. So they'll get a lot of that information in advance of town meeting and ask for the remaining funding to get that building built as part of this town meeting cycle. Is that fair? I don't want to. So that's a great step one. Step two is we talked about like this idea for the longer term vision, and should it be a parallel but separate path? You guys remember we had the discussion of the goals last time, and we talked about our timeline and how they could fit in and what that would mean for their timing, but also the need for them to essentially play a little bit catch up in terms of the community engagement that we were able to do up front in terms of surveys and information and making sure that what they want to bring forward as a potential plan is something that has had community feedback and community buy-in. And so they're going to launch a survey, I think, in the course of the next kind of couple days, weeks, whatever it is, to begin that process, which will have them, and then they also have money already allocated from the previous town meeting for feasibility. So what they want to do is take the data information they have from all the past work that's been done over many years of Park and Rec, take any new data information they get from the survey, get some help with feasibility in terms of, all right, based on all that feedback and potential scope of a project they want to do, based on what they learned from the community, like where are the options for location in terms of where that could be. Presumably Dell will be one of those locations, but there are certainly other locations that they could potentially look at. And so they're going to start that process. They're going to try to do it in a, well, I don't want to speak to them in terms of the timeline of what they will do it, but that's what they're off to go do, which I think is amazing. And it'll be great for the town to finally get that, at least have a definitive path forward in terms of what their vision is, in terms of what they want to do. If we get to the point that it all signs point to Dale and dovetails with our design process, where we should kind of factor that in, like it'll be great. If they decide they want to go build somewhere else, like that's great too. I think we left that meeting with our commitment that as a committee, not as a committee, we won't speak to the committee, but like that, this is all part of the town infrastructure, and we should be supported as one town, one team, one dream, and certainly partner and be a great steward and friend to them as they figure out their plan. And so, so that's what Lauren presented the plan at the select board meeting last night. If you haven't seen it, it'll take you 10-15 minutes to watch. I recommend you go do it. Because I think there's a little bit of confusion out there with it. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors in terms of if they're asking you questions about it as it relates to this project. I think that's kind of the.
Yeah, and it, part of that goes into the next item on communications subcommittee. We were thinking that maybe in the update, we would actually put down that, park and rec, that we know the community members are asking about park and rec facilities. How does that connect to the new school? And so we'll put down a link to say, please watch this presentation and you'll understand the current place where park and rec is and their plan moving forward to try to help get the word out. Step one is that permanent headquarters at Hinckley, and that's where their summer program, it revolves around. And then step two is this community center, the size, what's in it, and where that should be. And they're going to be looking for people to answer their survey just like we did in order to get the data to figure out the priority of what we want in a community center.
I think Jeff, they'll probably ask at some point if you can push it out to the list as you do with our surveys and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But I'll come back to the maybe I guess it's on the agenda item 4 a little bit. What we said to them is, and I think that they're in agreement with, is that they need to go out and figure out their path. I think what we've heard from them and the select board, and you guys check me on this, I don't want to misspeak, is that hey, as you guys go down the road of figuring out the school, if the current path footprint in terms of the overall land there fits into your design, as you look at that, you guys can probably contemplate that as part of your options, but we don't have control over it right now. And so I think the plan would be that as we evaluate and get a designer and architect involved, right, you would say kind of we would have to work with them to find the right balance between options that include that, options that don't include that, and to the extent that there's a really great option that includes that land, right? There could be a benefit to the town, the ability to roll that site work in, including the demo of the existing building, which we know will be expensive, into the MSBA process, which would be great. I'm not informed enough to understand will MSBA reverse it, reverse part of it, reverse all of it? I don't want to speak to that because I'm not educated enough on that point. But my expectation would be that it's part of the site work of the new building, and and the site work can get reimbursed to some extent. So I think that's our kind of path as we think about it. Just in terms of that land and what ultimately happens to it. And then to the warrant article piece of it, right then it leaves you with this now or later. And I think the idea is that at some point, there's some process by which, if we were going to use that land for the school, they would have to transfer that land to the care and control of the school committee. It's premature for us to ask for that at this time meeting, but certainly we can use next year to come up with a set of plans, get community impact feedback. If we do use it, then at probably 27 town meeting, that's when you'd be in front of them to ask for the transfer. As you then roll forward to kind of fall of 27 and go in front for the full kind of school vote. So that I want to make sure that's fair. That okay.
We do at the town meeting where we're gonna be hopefully voting on an override, for the money for the school, have another article at that special town meeting to transfer the land.
I think you wanna have that buttoned up before you do that.
Okay.
I agree. My point of view is that we're going to do so much outreach and community engagement on the plan and the site and and everything that we're doing that it shouldn't even be an issue when it comes to a vote because it'll be kind of predetermined at that point. And so in terms of the planning, it would be the right phase at that point to go get it.
So I was cynically, if it's better to get it done before, great. I was just thinking, having a $0 warrant article at the same time as we're having the $100 million warrant article might be a good thing. But,
yeah, but what one
We're not-
passes,
we're
the
not-
other one doesn't.
We're not ready yet because, hopefully when Park and Rec, again, it gets all their data and then begins to look at the size of the facility and where they want it, then we need that answered before.
Okay.
But we can, and I talked with Mark Sorrell last night about it, we can continue with our feasibility and include that land in. You can do that and include the land in, even though it's not under our care and control yet. So you can look at many options, one of which would be, we would have to ask for, care and control. And others, maybe not. We'll go to the left where the baseball field is, whatever. So, or just you're renovating right where you are. So, Leo, you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, I think a lot of this hinges on Parks and Rec in parallel, doing a lot of feasibility planning, in parallel, because it's a fast pace.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things I would just hope that they're clear on, that they're going to be at the same pace that we are.
So Lauren acknowledged the select board meeting last night, and again, I do recommend what Bill's saying. It was maybe a 15-minute presentation. It's worth capturing everything that she said.
You watch it on 2x speed, it goes twice as fast. It's great.
But she talks fast.
She did talk fast. She was intentionally talking fast because we had a long meeting.
So that'd be 4x then, right?
Yeah. But they said they want to get this questionnaire out within the next week or two, and they know they're behind, but they can close back up because they have very 5 simple questions they want to reach out, what are you looking for? Do you have a preference for a location? And start sorting through that, and that lets them start diving a lot deeper once they have.
And I know a community member has been making a lot of noise about it too, and I think that's helpful in raising awareness as well. And I just think that's the part that's hopeful, because that's one of the things that, as you know, just didn't happen last time. So then pacing at the same time, I think, is a wonderful idea. I think it's all wonderful, and the maximizing of the site work as well as the other concern I have, because it would have to be, I believe, if the land has been deeded a certain way to be used by the town.
You just have to have a name, or whatever you do there, you have to put the name. So it could be a parking lot, but it'd be the Hannah Adams Bath parking lot.
Could be a library.
Could be
It's not
anything.
it's not gonna be a building, it just has to have the name
A name.
associated with whatever.
Yeah.
Bath library.
Really? And that's
So I'll offer one other comment, and this isn't meant to to pat ourselves on the back, but the one thing that the Park and Rec team said from that meeting is hey, this is the first time anyone outside of the 5 commissioners has actually sat down with us to say, what are your plans? How can we help? And so I think as we continue to think about that, again across all the town boards and and the community at large, this is a big project. We have a big team against our project. They're going to need help, and the more that we can advocate and help them get them what they need, the better we'll all be. So.
And I do believe that there's still could be, even a separate project, the idea of the value of designer work, whatever they're doing, could participate, as part of that process, as long as the designer's aware of it, and if it's on the same site. And if it's not, the designer really doesn't matter, per se. So, but I think that as we get into the process, I foresee that there's going to be a need for as much space as possible.
Okay.
I think the good news is, if you want to take this once forward, knowing that we announced at the select board meeting last night, the state gave Trinity another $5 million versus the $1 million that we thought they were only going to get. That allows additional infrastructure. So if there was the ability to build a Parks and Rec center up in the McCarthy Park area, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but at least knowing the infrastructure is going to be brought up there, it makes it a lot easier for them to look at building versus having to throw their own infrastructure in, at a cost of the That helps with the question.
Any other thoughts, questions, feedback?
No, thank you guys for all the work that you did. I
Yeah,
think
thank
it
you
was
a lot.
a busy time of year, and I think that was a lot of stuff that got thrown all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It was a really good
Left
meeting
field.
though with Park and Rec. It was very helpful and it really just, you could, you know, and what, the thing we said, and this is the next part of the communication subcommittee update, is we have to get out the message to the community about where things stand. For us, we're always trying to do that, but also for Park and Rec. Because there is other information that, you know, makes it seem like things aren't happening and other things might be happening. So it's important to get the information out. And in that vein, Bill and I were talking last night about when we started this, we purposely did a Facebook page just for the SBC, and we don't allow comments. And we've never posted like on Medfield Concerned Citizens or some of the other things in town. So we're wondering if this might be the time that I could take the website update and put it on there, but it does mean comments would come, and we could ignore comments, or we could have a couple of people be the responder of comments.
I wouldn't respond.
Okay.
I wouldn't respond, but let people comment.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, you know, we're trying to hit bigger audiences, and so we started to talk about it.
For reference, our page has 295 followers. I think I saw today, Park and Rec has like, 2,100 followers.
From posting today.
No, just from history of people subscribing to the page over time.
But they've
So
had a lot
wait,
more,
wait,
they've
wait,
had a
you
lot
said
more
Park
time,
and Rec.
and they do things
Did you
outside
mean
of that,
Concerned Citizens has 2,000?
No, we have 300.
Yeah.
Park and Rec is 2,000. Concerned Citizens is 5,000.
Okay, so they have their own Facebook page, Park and Rec. That I didn't
So
know.
I'm just saying they have 10 times the reach of us.
Yeah.
And Concerned Citizens has 2 times the reach of them.
Yeah. So we have 300 Facebook. We have 570 who get the update.
It's friends of Medfield too.
Yeah.
I would say if you feel the need, which we know how I stand on this, if you feel the need to publish anything, I would say Friends is gonna be the better space to do something like this, because for the most part it is a little more civil. I think Facebook as a whole has been trending in the people aren't on it anymore. I think that whatever their algorithm is doing, like we've been talking about this at the school level and all of the schools, PTO-wide and everything else, like it is really hard to reach people now because they're not utilizing Facebook that they did, I mean, however many years ago, like the last vote was, you know what I mean, when it was very powerful. I don't know fully how people are getting a lot of their information now, but it's like Facebook as a whole has been in trouble because it's just not showing up in people's feeds anymore when things are posted.
And that's a generational flow. So they say there's a certain generation of using Facebook, and there's just behind them is using Instagram, and a little bit of that. Then there's TikTok and a couple of others, and then there's generations that are off social altogether. But there's still a lot. There's a lot of decisions that get made about you on social media.
Yeah. One of the so I think on some like the videos that we put out, I think for the people that have seen them, we get a lot of great feedback. I think the population who's seen them is a fraction of what it could be. And right, like for me, this is all about building a cadence of credibility. So as we work off to the more controversial, not controversial, but the more complicated decisions that we're going to have to evaluate and make, there's a demonstrated behavior about what we're going to do, how we're going to talk about it, how people are going to see it, and how to be in front of them, so that you just kind of continue to build that trust. And so like, that would be the reason I'd be in favor of, trying to reach a broader distribution at this point. But I know that cuts both ways in terms of, like, if you're gonna,
Have you, I know you haven't met with the captains in a while, how many do you have right now?
I had 22.
I guess I would be interested to see what they think.
Yeah, I was just drafting a note to them today to sort of update it. I figured there's no sense meeting when we were just stuck. But now I think I'd like to have a meeting, bring them up to date, and then as soon as the OPM is here, I want the OPM to meet the captains. You know, they're going to hopefully be really helpful in getting information out. So I could do that, and I could ask them about it and get their.
I'm just curious, I mean, because you've got like somewhat of a range in that space, right? In regards to like demographic, location,
Yes.
people, like how are they getting their information? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I guess instead of us saying like this is what we've done in the past or something we should be considering, like let's ask the people who are actually doing that right now, like where do you get your information from? Is it from the bus stop? Is it from a soccer game? Is it from Facebook? Is it, I don't know, someone just said.
Medfield Insider.
Yeah, exactly, like where are we getting stuff from? So I think that might give us a better strategy around like what we need to be targeting.
I'm also wondering, so when you were talking earlier about Park and Rec wanting to get a survey out, and then you kind of connected with Jeff and was like, "Will we ever push it through those channels?" If this could be like a mutually, if they have 10 times the amount of followers than we do, is there a way that we can, you know what I mean? If Jeff is going to send things out, or we're going to send things out through the communication channels we have and supportive information they're trying to get, would they do the same for us? I just feel like that's safer. I don't know that concerns citizens. I'm not sure the people that I don't know that it's a place for the most. I think what we're trying to do is get like a wider exposure, right? And more, but I don't know that that is the place that makes the most sense for the information then to not become convoluted or misconstrued. And I'm not saying that always happens, but it definitely does happen. And no matter how many of us decide to say we will monitor that, there are people that just stay on it to continually comment, and then it spins out of control, and then you can't get it back.
Yeah, and I would love to see the real data. I would say 50% of the people on that website don't even live in Medfield.
That's my other concern.
That's why I hate that. I just don't know. It's like concerned citizens is the dumbest site ever. It's like if we see that Chris's thing that goes out every Monday. That's pretty much Medfield people. Anything that Jeff's sending out, it's hitting Medfield people. The Parks and Rec, they're hitting Medfield people. Like, we really need to think about where we're going and where we're getting real data versus some Yahoo who lives in Detroit, people that have moved to Florida. They're still chiming in. They're waiting for a reaction on a keyboard. We gotta stay far, far away from that.
River's Edge in Norfolk.
What's that?
River's Edge in Norfolk.
I just think we try a step before we.
Okay.
I agree with you guys.
That's great feedback.
I recognize
Jeff,
we want to be reaching more people. I just
I'm
think I would rather test out other strategies first.
Well, it's funny. It's reaching some people because like the number of people that come up to you and me, and I'm sure all you guys say like you guys are doing a great job. It's like how the hell do you know? Like no one's ever here. Like
I think there is people do watch Concerned Citizens. So there are a lot of readers, not a lot of commenters, and then the people comment are probably the same ones who comment. And then there's a few groups of pages that are like that. Like I've always commented, but it has really grown, and I think it's more Medfield people. But when a student got kicked off of Concerned Citizens, they started even more Concerned Citizens at Medfield. And it was a joke, but it's still there, and it still has activity on it, which I'm surprised about. So I think those groups are one thing. I think getting the stuff to repost into those groups out to people is one other way, right? Okay. So Colleen Sullivan does a good job of reposting things on those pages. So I'm sure she'd be happy to. I don't want to speak for her, but she does a good job of spreading good news in the town. I give her a lot of kudos for that.
But she verifies it. It's not just some opinion that they don't even have any background to even make that statement. But now it's printed, so everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's real." It's like, "Oh my God." All right, Michelle, you brought up a good point. The neighborhood captains. Like that's a really valid question. How do you get your information, right? And then I think that's something we can go to, like even Council on Aging, like where are they getting their information? Because not everybody's online, not everyone's, so we're not gonna get everybody, but if you can at least ask where people are getting information.
Those are like the great thing, like when we did the surveys, right? We went through, felt like we had a really great representative sample of people who filled it out. So we had all almost like bizarrely like equal feedback across the 4 precincts, across different age demographics. So we're definitely getting out there. There's more questions, but we need to ask about it. Sounds like we're a good start. So.
All right, I'll start.
You need to advocate for getting people to follow our page.
I'm assuming you have an email address for every parent in Medfield.
Yes, multiple.
Are there privacy statutes or regs that prohibit you giving that to us so that we could distribute information through that?
Yeah, that can't be done.
It can't be done.
That would be really bad. Anyone who's looking to jump on Jeff, that would be really, that we would not want.
I wasn't trying to get any.
We would not let
that. Would be
All right, but I think that's a
Gets
good
the Jolly
plan.
County, take a number.
I'll do the neighborhood captains meeting. Bob, you and I can pick a date there.
Yep.
And then we'll ask them that and explain I want to explain to them anyhow where we are and how it goes now, and then get them ready for April, to, get an OPM. And
Oh, before spring soccer starts, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's
Thank you.
another
That was really.
Park and Rec collab.
That is very helpful. Okay, we're on the public part here, and Andrew, I saw you come in, and now I feel bad because I didn't respond. You wrote us an email
Oh, yeah.
about coming, and I totally forgot. It's my fault. Did you want to say anything to the group, or?
Andrew Gerald, member of the Energy Committee. I just want to say great job. This has been an amazing process. You're doing an awesome job so far. And the Energy Committee just asked us to be the liaison. I guess the only immediate thing is now that you guys are in Module 2, I know that Eversource and the Energy Efficiency Team, led by Kim Cullinane, and also to a lesser extent Penny Connor, who's the head of the Energy Chair, works for Eversource as well. Essentially, the Energy Efficiency Team over there is interested in knowing if the committee would like to have a kickoff meeting with whoever's interested from the committee to, begin discussing, where they can fit in or where they can lend their expertise as far as, sustainability and just basically create an efficient school.
Is that something that should happen after we get the OPM, because we'll have their expertise? Does that make sense after they're hired? I'm just looking at the process part of it.
I think it's one of those discussions that I think Eversource could be involved in no matter who gets hired, because ultimately they're going to be the one providing the the electricity gas.
I'm just thinking, I think with Carolyn, but I don't want to put words in her mouth, that the kind of technical information they could be providing might, or would hopefully be helpful to an OPM who has a broader knowledge of construction, certainly than I do, and might be of more assistance to someone like the OPM than it is to the committee generally. I know Tony and John have construction experience, but for the rest of us, it might be less.
I don't know, like I depending on what the best, I would have them weigh in based on like where we are in the process to understand, are we premature or not, if we're pre-OPM. If they say like, no, you're not too early, we have 2 meetings where there's not going to be a ton to do between now and the end of
full
April.
group meetings, right?
So like a half-hour education session in terms of like, hey, here's who we are, here's how we plug into projects, here's where we've seen success, as just like an education for a half hour either during February or March. Like that can't hurt. Like,
Yeah. So ask them if they would rather have the OPM in the room, and have a conversation. Then hopefully that will be in April. That's what we're aiming for. It could be that we don't make that April meeting, and when's the next one? June? You can move to 2, right? April and June. Jeff, am I right? Is it June would be the next MSBA meeting for the OPM if we don't make the April one?
I think it's May.
May?
I just want to May. I
There
have to
is
double
one.
check, but I feel like every month they do one.
Oh, every
Okay,
month?
yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, just so they understand where we are.
Okay.
Okay.
I would just, I know that they're just interested, what they termed it as a kickoff meeting, so I don't, pretty high level, hi, nice to meet you,
Yeah, okay.
let's keep talking as the
All right.
process goes.
I think like an education, yeah, like a little bit of education, just in terms of like, hey, like we worked on these couple schools, here's what we did for them, here's what we've seen success,
Mhm.
here's the benefits to the town, like,
Right.
we could come do it.
Right.
The other thing, when Jeff and you and I talked about, is there another school we would like to visit before we are knee deep in the design piece?
Right. We had talked about the one in Harvard.
Yeah, the one in Harvard.
That's a really nice school that was just finishing up when we actually visited, because Arrow Street at the time that was one of the projects they were finishing up. Had a lot of the similar instructional kind of structure that we wanted in the building. So it's kind of a long ride. I'm sure there's one closer that we can go to. The one in Shrewsbury is really good too. That opened up maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that bless you, that's a really, really nice school too. So similar to Westwood in terms of how they structure the instructional areas,
Right.
but a little different as well. So
Okay. I mean,
Arrow Street's taking us, we're going on a tour at the end of the month, and then we're going to see Service Elementary School in Newton. Which is, I think, one of their projects as well. So,
is yours an ad reno or a new school?
Service, I believe, is a new school.
Yours, the project you're on.
We don't know yet.
So you're looking at both options too?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to see the George Mitchell Elementary in Bridgewater, Pine Hill in Westwood, and Service on the 21st.
I think the good thing about the one in Harvard and also the one in Shrewsbury is they were built on existing areas where the school was there. So they built it right next to the school. So you got to see what it looked like in process with the kids still in one building, the building right next door, and how they managed that. It was pretty good to see that.
Service was a tight spot. They actually they bought 2 homes on the corner of that street and then knocked them down.
Did you know?
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, because you've seen them, and if you think Harvard, I know it is a ride, but
And Shrewsbury's a good one too.
yeah, Shrewsbury's a ride too, though.
Yeah, either one.
Either one, you're going up 495, you're going.
Right. Do you want to go back to Shrewsbury and check it out?
See it on the old stomping ground. Whatever. I'd go with either one. Like,
Harvard's beautiful. Right, Harvard is a little town. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Oh, Harvard's gorgeous little town.
The Shrewsbury one is beautiful. It overlooks Worcester. It's built up on a hill and overlooks Worcester. It's really nice. And again, either one of them would be great to visit because it's similar to what we were looking for last night. Happy to do.
Would the
happy to
committee-
call either one.
Be interested in going if we're going that far away, because 45 minutes to get there, an hour tour, 45 minutes home. I don't want Jeff to go through, we call and we set it up and then nobody comes.
Depends on when it is.
Tony, Teresa, Robert, are you in for a tour or you want to wait till better weather?
Just thinking that.
So one of the things that
I didn't
this
know
is
that
happening
would
as part of the
easier.
education
And
plan
you
piece
can all
too.
come.
So like Corello from a company that does that work is doing these tours. So that it may be another opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the 2 meetings, but maybe we could you want to just wait till we get the OPM? What?
Doesn't matter to me.
You can maybe use the Warrior bus.
I just heard how chicken does.
And then,
The Warrior bus? Wow.
So Warrior Wagon, we could do that.
and then we get a chance to talk. There's not 5 cars going up. A little bit simpler.
John's gonna drive it?
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Done it before.
Literally drive the bus.
Yeah. I have to drive out
We could do
into
that.
Boston.
We're happy.
All right, well, let's think about doing that for March.
She said.
All right, let's think of the possibility of doing it for March. We'll discuss it again in
Okay.
February.
All
And
right.
if we feel like we're just too crazy busy because there's some of us doing the interview thing, then we'll make it later, at the end of the school year. But I do think it's important to keep seeing schools so you get get a feel of being in it and visual and looking around to understand what it is
April
we
might
want
be
to
better
do.
with better weather too, we can do a van and whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Because you never know what's going to snow. Okay. Was there any other public questions that I'm missing? Anybody's any questions? Some participants, but I don't see any questions.
Chris's hand is raised, I think.
There's a hand that's
Yeah,
raised.
on the right. You can see all the way
Okay,
over
yeah,
there.
side. Yeah. How do I get? I can do it. Hold on. I don't know why mine doesn't since I'm a panelist, but I click it and nothing happens.
For that taco sauce.
Wow.
Yeah, Chris, should be all set. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
Great, thanks. I just wanted to just throw in a quick comment. First and foremost, you guys are doing such a phenomenal job, and I'm telling as many people that. I mean, like, I'm really just so impressed with how much communication has been going out, the discussions that have been taking place. I just really want to make sure that you guys know that. Because I'm doing the insider and because I hear it from a lot of people in the community, I feel like I have really good gut instincts about what people are going to be looking for or asking about. And I would just say that as you guys move forward, I really think that the big sticking point that's going to be, down the road is going to be whether we do a new school or addition renovation. And I would just say that as you move along in the process, I would just recommend that every document that gets produced, every meeting that you guys talk about, is just to try your best just to always say that, you haven't made a decision yet, or, to make it clear in documents that you're looking at both. I was at one public meeting where someone from the committee made a comment that the SBC was leaning toward new construction. And I knew that wasn't the case because I'd been at the meetings. And I was kind of surprised that that comment was made. And then, when you look at the fact that you guys are visiting these schools, all of them are new schools. So I'm just trying to be really sensitive about what the public perception will be. It's not what I think, it's what I think the public perception will be. And that could become an obstacle for you guys as you're, pursuing this path. Because I'm so excited about how well everything is going. And I just want to see that continue, and I don't want, people to start getting the wrong impressions by, documents that are out there, or what people are saying at meetings, or, some of the tours you guys are taking. And then just do your best to try and, maybe look at that lens in a different way, maybe sometimes, if you can. And that would just be the only thing I wanted to share. I hope that helps. Yeah, thanks, Chris. I will say though that Roberts School was not a new school, so we've seen one reno and then two new schools. Yeah. Right, but I don't think that group that toured Roberts School, I remember, wasn't really a large group. I mean, there are other ad renos that are out there. I think the Catholic School is a beautiful school in Newton. Is one that would be great to visit. I mean, I don't think they have to be all. I mean, it's just, all I'm saying is it's about the public perception. It's not about, just to be sensitive to that, because I just know what people will say in the community. I feel like I have pretty good instincts about what people are going to be sensitive to going down the road. So I'm only throwing that out as a suggestion to help, not to be critical or anything, just to be really try and be helpful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lincoln Elliott was a reno.
Was it?
That's the old Aquinas.
That's a rough shape.
The old Aquinas, yeah.
All right. I don't see any other hands or anything. Anything committee for future agenda topics? Anybody would like to just let Bill or I know?
I'd like to discuss new colored T-shirts for advertising.
With a QR with a QR code that works.
You people are picky.
I just want the code to work. I don't care about the color. I just want the code to work. Yeah, we'll think of something for the spring. What color would you like?
Yeah, I'll think of it. Illustrate colors.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
I guess part of that conversation, one of the things that I did think about is, perhaps, making sure we budget, communication dollars probably. There are strategies, there are ways to do target marketing that aren't over the top expensive, and that would probably help us, as I'm hearing about, trying to find email addresses and other things, and there's ways to do that now, to get that word out, so.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants in particular that we haven't mentioned, just so you know it? All right, well then, and who would like to be on video tonight? They're just not raising their hands. You see that? All right, Bill's gonna pick somebody. All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Yeah.
John Cena, yes.
Michelle Kirkby, yes.
Neil Brennan.
Bobby, yes.
Peter Michelson, yes.
Yes.
Carolyn Casey, yes.
Lisa James, yes.
Sorry about the Thomas, yes.
Barbara Worth, yes.
And thank you to those who are not feeling too well and are on Zoom. We really appreciate you attending.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right, feel better.
Okay.